Hello, I'm Peter Vaughan, and today I've got a bit of an exclusive for you because yesterday this very van was at Adria's UK trade launch, and today here we are at the Cambridge Camping and Caravanning Club site, and I'm the first person to test out this new Adria, their top of the range campervan, the Twin Max, which will now sit above the Twin Supreme in their range, their first ever conversion on the MAN TGE. In fact, this vehicle is still a prototype, and you'll notice it's left-hand drive. So spec, when it does come to the UK, and the UK launch will be at the NEC show in October. When they do come to the UK in right-hand drive, spec may be a little bit different from the vehicle that you see here, and it hasn't been 100% settled exactly what the spec and pricing will be in October, but we expect a vehicle like this, fully loaded with the automatic gearbox, metallic paint, all the toys, to be around £97,000. And it's a bigger van than anything Adria has built as a camper van previously. The extra long wheelbase Fiat Ducatos used for the Twin Supreme are 6.36 metres long. This is 6.84 metres long. While I'm about it, height is 2.58 metres and overall width, with the mirrors folded, 2.04 metres. There'll be a choice of two colours, reflex silver or indium grey, and two layouts, although they're pretty much the same apart from the bedroom area. In the SGX, the 680 SGX, you get a double bed that rises electrically in the ceiling to create a full-size garage. In this SLB model, the same length, you get twin beds that fold to the sides, which we'll show you later on. A 6-metre model may follow in due course, but for now it's these two extra long 6.84 metre versions, and because of their size you can't drive them on a standard Class B car licence. You will need a C1 category. They have a 4-tonne, 4,000 kilo gross vehicle weight. And it's expected that with the added spec for the UK market, they'll still have a payload of over 700 kilos. Now let's have a look around the exterior. So taking a look down the near side, you'll notice this nice chromed Adria badging, again with the metallic paint and the alloy wheels, and these very nice graphics which I think do a superb job of giving a leisure vehicle look without some of those old-fashioned swirls and stripes that we used to get on some camper vans. So it does have that premium look to go with the price tag. Now, one feature that isn't confirmed for the UK is this one, which is a connection to mains water. If you're on a serviced pitch on a campsite, that could be rather nice, but as I say, not confirmed yet for the UK. Fresh water is 100 litres and that's inboard. Waste tank is 70 litres and that's underslung but heated and insulated. Of course, you've got your cassette toilet servicing hatch, your vent for your trimmer boiler, and your mains hookup point. And these side windows are all nice framed flush windows, so they don't stick out proud of the bodywork and create wind noise. Coming around the front, you notice the badging, which shows that you've got the top engine, 177 PS under the bonnet, plenty even for a large camper van. Fog lights in the front bumper, but of course the big feature is that really big overcab sunroof. The electric step doesn't auto-retract, but it does come with a warning buzzer, and above you've got an awning light. Worth remembering too that this being a continental camper van, the sliding door will stay on the off side here when it comes in right-hand drive. The awning is expected to be part of the UK spec, and down here you've got a gas barbecue point as well. And you may have noticed these little dots in the side mouldings. Well, this vehicle hasn't just got reversing sensors, it's got sensors all the way around. And because it's so long, I've found those really good to warn you if you're getting a bit close, say in a car park, because it is a very long wheelbase on this vehicle. And if you look out at all those Amazon Mercedes Sprinters, they've nearly all got a scrape down the side somewhere. You wouldn't want to do that to your 100 grand camper van, would you? Let's hope those are part of the UK spec. So round the back you've got the barn doors, of course, reversing camera above. And then inside you'll spot a couple of novelties for which I expect you'll have to visit the Adria accessories catalogue. First of all, here's this full fly screen that covers this area. If you want to open up the back, perhaps you're having a lazy day lying in bed but you want a bit of fresh air, well, that could be a solution. And then you've got these storage bags on the back doors. And as part of the same kit, you've got this complete blackout for the end of the bedroom, although of course you still have got the concertina blinds on the back doors. I suppose this just gives you a bit more insulation and protects you from any drafts that there might be around the back doors, although I suspect they won't be nearly as drafty as Fiat back doors. Now, one of the reasons to buy a vehicle like this, of course, is the huge underbed storage, and this one is particularly generous. 1.76 metres deep front to back, 1.04 metres across the vehicle, and 58 centimetres high as a minimum. So really good space, but you can have more. Now, this is one of the simplest systems I've seen to create a full garage. Because there's no infill cushion down the middle, there's just two individual mattresses. You just hinge those to one side, use these seatbelt straps to secure them. Same on the other side. And then you can remove these crossbars. Now you'll note that not only have you got these lashing points in the floor, front and rear, but you've got them on either side as well. You've also got a little bit of storage in here. Here's your gas compartment. You only need a small gas compartment because the heating is Truma's Combi diesel unit. Little cupboard above. Down here you've got an inverter built in, although I suspect that won't be standard equipment. Over on this side, of course, you've got your fresh water tank built in, and again, a bit more storage. And if you want to get something really big in, you can even remove this step unit. It simply unscrews and lifts out. And finally, before we put it all back to bedroom mode, you've got a main socket on this side and an external shower point on this side. Now turning to the front of the vehicle, and it's probably what you'd expect, a typical Continental camper van with a half-tonette, wall-mounted table, swivel cab seats, all very familiar. Apart from this one feels so much bigger, so much lighter, so much brighter, because not only have you got this big overcab sunroof, but you've got a huge wind-up sunroof over the living area as well. So it's absolutely flooded with daylight. And after dark, well, you've got these little reading lights, one for the, what will be the driver's seat on right-hand drive. You've got these mood lights which are dimmable above the top lockers. Plenty of artificial lighting too. The swing out extension on the table is pretty much what you'd expect too, but just that bit sturdier, because Adria build quality always has been well above the norm. And what they've done in this vehicle with this new Twin Max is just modernise it all. These lovely little reading lights, the curves on the furniture, this nice colouring to the woodwork, and push to open catches on all the cupboards, so there's no handles anywhere. It all looks very modern, very contemporary. Little details like this cup holder in your table. We mentioned before the pleated blinds, and this nice soft trim around the windows and on the sidewall too. But the thing that really stands out is the comfort of this seat. So often these rear travel seats in campervans of this ilk can be, well, very upright, very uncomfortable for any distance. This one, I think you could really travel a long way, and that's because it is shaped as a seat. It's not having to perform any dual role. This doesn't make into a bed. There's Isofix on this rear seat too, and then you've got TV points, aerial sockets, main sockets, even a couple of USBs up here, so you could mount a TV on the wall above the rear seat. And then another little detail is the coat hooks over by the door. Before I move on to the kitchen, I should just mention that there's some storage under the false floor beneath the table, but then that's quite typical for this sort of campervan. Under the rear seat, however, there is very little storage because that's where the combi boiler lives. So the kitchen, well, it's where you'd expect, and it has the sort of fittings you'd expect. From can, this 2-burner hob and sink unit. Now, I'm waiting for confirmation from Adria as to whether in the UK you'll be able to get an oven. If you do, then obviously you will lose some of this super-sized drawer space, because you have 3 very large soft closed drawers. But there's also some nice little details. Again, all lovely curves at the end of the units and so on. But this one here is a bit of a surprise. It drops down and there's a little container in there. I think that's for your spices and so on. So that's, and your condiments, but they'll obviously have to be well sealed because they're lying horizontally. And then you've got this pull out section here. Rather than having a flip up worktop, just pull out that frame and drop in a little worktop panel on top. So that's really, really sturdy, much sturdier than most flip up panels. And then you've got these little hooks, little pocket for, well, whatever. And then one main socket, but that's not really ideally placed in relation to the worktop. You're going to have your sink cover down and put your kettle or whatever on there. And then finally at the fridge, well, it's a nice big fridge, 138 litre compressor fridge. That is an optional upgrade. Standard is an 84 litre model, so I think that's probably worth having. So to the washroom, which hides behind this black tambour door. In here, of course, you've got your cassette toilet. Now that is quite high if you've got short legs. And there's not a lot of standing room in here. For example, if you want to give your face a good wash, you're going to have to sit on the loo to do so. You're not going to be able to stand and do that. That said, sitting on the loo, there's plenty of shoulder room and decent leg room as well. You've got an opening window for ventilation and this useful shelved area just in front of the window. Even better, the top locker has a really deep lip, so nothing's going to come tumbling out of there. A couple of towel hooks, so all the fittings that you need. But then the really interesting part is that this is a swing wall arrangement. So just rotate that around and now you've got your shower cubicle. Shame they didn't incorporate somewhere to put your shampoo and conditioner and that sort of thing, but it is a separate shower head. You have got a drying rail for your towels or wet clothes. You've got 2 drains in the shower tray. The only thing you will have to check for yourself is whether this is big enough. If it's not the garage area that's the star of this van, then certainly it's the bedroom, and of course both share space at the back end of this camper van. So what have you got? Well, you've got two single beds that actually meet in the middle, so whether you consider those as singles or not, I suppose is up to you, and perhaps up to who you're sharing with. The measurements are quite impressive. They're 86 centimetres or 2'10" wide, each of them. This bed on the near side is the shorter one, 1.86 metres or 6'1", and the offside bed is longer at 1.95 metres or 6'5". You've got USB ports above the head of the bed on each side. These nice curved lockers again with the push to open catches, and again a nice deep lip to keep everything in situ. Little storage pockets on the side walls, but more importantly really good ventilation with opening windows on both sides and in the back doors, and a roof vent, so if you're heading somewhere hot that won't be an issue. Beds are really comfy, and most importantly, because there's no overhead lockers at the back and you're sleeping lengthways, well, you can comfortably sit up in bed. You've got reading lights on either side too, and well, it's a really good bedroom, a really big bedroom, and also one that's easy to access because you're not climbing over your partner, and there's a good sized step at the foot of the bed. So that's the living area covered, except to say that the UK spec will include full leather upholstery rather than this part leather, carpets and a solar panel. Now on the base vehicle side, well, we know that the MAN is my favourite larger van to drive. Well, you'll know that if you watch this channel. But this one, the UK spec includes, as I say, the 4-ton upgrade, leather multifunction steering wheel, and it's a heated steering wheel. Just press that button there in the winter time. It's got adaptive cruise control with emergency braking up to 160 kilometres an hour. Now I'd hope that if you were doing 99 miles an hour, you'd be ready to put your foot on the brake, but hey ho. LED headlamps, a metallic paint, dynamic road sign display, so it shows the speed limit or whatever up on the dashboard there, climatronic air conditioning, digital radio, a driver assist systems pack, so things like lane departure warning, lights and vision package, and the MAN Media Van Nav Pack Business with 4 speakers. So, driving this MAN, well, as I've said before, this is simply the best of the current crop of larger panel vans. It feels very much Volkswagen. It is a Volkswagen Group product. Everything from the steering wheel, the switchgear, it's all familiar if you drive or have driven a modern VW. And the quality's there too. You know, everything feels that much sturdier and more durable than in some panel vans. Also, the sophistication of the display here, it's got that sort of iPhone type touchy-feely about it. My phone links seamlessly for Android Auto, so you've got the navigation through your phone there. All very smart, but what really impresses me with these MAN vans is the way they drive. It doesn't feel anymore like a commercial vehicle. It's just a big vehicle, but one that's a real pleasure to drive. Smooth, quiet, comfortable. These seats are really good. You've got electric lumbar adjustment on them, the squabs tilt, so can't fault the driving position. You've got reach and rake adjustment on the steering column as well. And then, well, the size of it, well, 6.8 metres is big for a panel van. And you do feel that at times. The benefit, of course, is that really long wheelbase. I think it's nearly 4.5 metres between the wheels. Well, that gives you superb stability on the road. The downside, when I went into Tesco's car park, it's not the most manoeuvrable vehicle. You've got, fortunately on this one, you've got parking sensors, not just front and rear, but down the sides as well. So it does warn you if you're getting too close to, say, another parked car or something alongside. And now we've just gone over a pretty dreadful bit of road surface, and yes, there are some rattles, but well, this is a prototype, so let's hope that Adria get that sorted before they go into production. But all round, yeah, one of the big appeals of this new Twin Max is the fact that it's based on the MAN. So, final verdict time on this Adria Twin Max 680 SLB. Well, the base vehicle is a winner. I've already said that when previously I've reviewed these MAN vans. They really are a joy to drive. And that's no exception here. In fact, it's, well, as a van, it's a beauty on the road. It's also a very long van, so has Adria made best use of that 6.8 metres? Well, the bedroom area is superb, and that makes into a huge garage, and it does so. The transformation is one of the easiest and slickest I've seen. What about the rest? Well, the front lounge is really good. No, it's not big, but with the seating comfort and all that daylight from above, I really like the lounge area. The kitchen, well, let's see if Adria gives us an oven for the UK. And yeah, there's some neat detailing, lots of drawer-based storage, big fridge. So the kitchen is probably what you'd expect of a Continental campervan. The only weakness then perhaps is the washroom, which lacks standing space and as a shower feels quite tight. Maybe it needs one of those washrooms that expands out into the living area to give you more room. Other than that, well, typical Adria, tops on style, tops on quality, and lots of modern design. I hope you've enjoyed our latest review. Keep watching, keep subscribing. Many more motorhome reviews and campervans too coming along soon.